Thank you for joining me in this short reflection and Bible study on the reading from Monday in Holy Week with Holy Cross. We read last night the text of Mark 11, verses 12 to 19, and we reflected on the phrase house of prayer. I wanted that reflection time to be able to sit on its own without commentary from me, and so I'm providing this commentary on Tuesday in Holy Week to help us look back at the reading from Monday. If you haven't had time to read the text, then I encourage you to do so. You can pause this video. Down in the video description, there will be a link that you can follow to go off and read the reading, and then come back and pick up the video from here. If you don't have time to read the reading, or if you didn't join Holy Cross in prayer last night, here's a short summary. On Palm Sunday, Jesus had entered Jerusalem, and then he left, and on the next day, Monday in Holy Week, he makes his return to the city. On his way, he curses a fig tree for not having any figs on it, and then he gets to Jerusalem. Once there, he goes into the temple and drives out those who are buying and selling in the temple. He overturns some tables and makes a claim that the house of prayer has become a den of robbers. After that, the chief priests and scribes plot to kill Jesus, and he leaves Jerusalem again for another night outside of the city. In their book, The Last Week, Borg and Crossan point out how the stories of Palm Sunday and Monday in Holy Week are structured the same in Mark's account. On both days, the story starts out with the context being set that Jesus enters Jerusalem. On both days, the story ends with Jesus departing Jerusalem. In the middle, we have two sections of prophetic action. On Palm Sunday, as I pointed out in my sermon on the Palm Sunday reading, this isn't about a protest about Jerusalem not having received peace or not knowing peace. What Jesus does is he goes to the heart of the Roman occupation and protests what is happening due to that occupation. Jesus entered Jerusalem riding a donkey, followed by peasants, as a counterpoint to Pilate's entering Jerusalem riding a horse, followed by Roman legionnaires. Often, we've taught in the life of the church that the purpose of overturning the tables and driving out the people who bought and sold goods was due to some perversion of worship practices. And that has helped us hold the Jews accountable for the actions that we know are about to come in Holy Week. However, if we suspend that belief for a moment and look at this text in the light of what we've recently thought about Palm Sunday, we might see it differently. See, Borg and Crossan have this to say. The money changers and animal sellers were perfectly legitimate and absolutely necessary for the temple's normal functioning. Money changers were needed so that Jewish pilgrims could pay the temple tax in the only approved coinage. Buying animals or birds on sight was the only way pilgrims could be sure the creatures were ritually adequate for sacrifice. So if all of this was legitimate, then we have a question around verse 17 in the text, because it's that verse that talks about robbers that we've often used to justify that somehow these worship practices had been perverted. Here's how this verse goes. Jesus was teaching and saying, "Is it not written, 'My house shall be called a house of prayer for all the nations,' but you have made it a den of robbers." Now, one of the important things that Borg and Crossan reminds us of is that a den isn't a place where one would commit robbery, but a place that one would go to seek refuge after having committed an injustice, after having committed a robbery. And there's a big difference there. What Jesus seems to be saying is this: you can't commit an injustice outside of the temple and then flee to the temple as a way to have your injustices blotted out. Now, the chief injustice that was being done at the time was not by the faithful Jews who lived in Jerusalem, but by the Roman rulers, who had overtaken the temple authority, who had installed a number of successive high priests as they needed them to suit their own wishes. The Roman rulers had helped develop the temple as a way to keep the people in Jerusalem from rising up against the Roman rule. So maybe Jesus' condemnation isn't so much against the Jews as it is against the politics, against the Roman rule, the real world politics that uses religion as a front for its purpose. With all of this, I'll leave you one question to think about. Where is your house of prayer? That place that truly reconnects you with God, without all of the constructs of the world. Thank you for joining me in this today. If you'd like to send me your thoughts, I really would appreciate reading them. You can email me at pastorcolin@holycrossburlington.ca. Peace and blessings to you and those you love during this most holy week.